Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, November 17th, 2022. Big show today. College basketball, NBA, NHL, college football, Thursday night football, golf, MLB awards, MVPs are announced tonight. NFL power rankings with the different twist to it. News and notes, and my best bet of the day. We'll start with college basketball. We'll go over the results from last night and look ahead to today's games. Kent State over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 94-68. UMass Lowell over Sacred Heart, 90-81. Number 20 Michigan over Pitt, 91-60. Number 22 Tennessee over Florida Gulf Coast, 81-50. NC Central over Mid-Atlantic Christian, 109-50. Robert Morris over West Virginia Wesleyan, 111-56. Toledo over Oakland, 112-90. Lehigh over Marist, 64-54. Detroit over Ohio, 88-74. Radford over Adverett, 79-34. American over William & Mary, 71-64. Columbia over Delaware State, 70-65. Northern Kentucky over Cincinnati, 64-51. East Carolina over Hampton, 82-73. Cleveland State over Canisius, 58-57 in overtime. Tulane over Charleston Southern, 99-79. Harvard over Northeastern, 70-69. Ohio State over Eastern Illinois, 65-43. UAB over Presbyterian, 92-61. Iowa over Seton Hall, 83-67. Army over Siena, 96-94 in overtime. Number 3, Houston over Texas Southern, 83-48. Number 9, Arkansas over South Dakota State, 71-56. Chicago State over Valpo, 87-74. Bethune over Trinity Baptist, 83-46. Southeast Missouri State over Evansville, 67-61. Notre Dame over Southern Indiana, 82-70. Ball State over Omaha, 71-61. St. Mary's over Southern, 72-54. Legends Classic, Arizona State over VCU, 63-59. BYU over Missouri State, 66-64. Bakersfield over Idaho, 52-43. Number 11, Texas over number 2, Gonzaga, 93-74. Texas was favored, so it's not an upset. San Francisco over Fresno State, 67-60. And Portland State over Evergreen State, 113-40. All right, now I look ahead to today's games at 11:30, so at about less than 2 hours from TD Arena, you have Furman and Penn State on ESPNU. These are fun tournaments. My projection is actually Furman by a half point, and Penn State is giving 2.5. So give me Furman plus the 2.5 and plus 112 outright right off the back for a pick. ESPNU 1:30 Myrtle Beach Invitational from the HTC Center, Colorado and UMass. Colorado's giving 5.5. I project 2.5. Give me UMass getting the points. 2 o'clock, ESPN2 from Charleston, Old Dominion, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's favored by 15.5. I have a whopping 36.5. I'm laying the points. Murray State, number 24, Texas A&M from Myrtle Beach, 4 o'clock, ESPN2 from the HTC Center. My projection is A&M by 34.5, and it's 12.5. I'm laying the points. Merrimack Tri from Dalberg Arena in Montana. My projection's Troy 2.5, and it's 6.5. Give me Merrimack getting the 2.5. Colorado State and South Carolina from TD Arena in Charleston. My line is Colorado State by 5, and it's a pick'em. Give me Colorado State in the pick'em. 6:30 Fox Sports 2, St. Friend PA Butler. My projection's Butler by 32.5, and it's 19.5. I'm laying the points. Kansas City, Kansas State. My line is 37.5 for Kansas State, and it's 19.5. I'm laying the points. Fox Sports 1, 6:30. Nebraska, St. John's. My line is St. John's by 13, and it's 9.5. I'm laying the points. SC State and number 4 Kentucky at 7 o'clock on the SEC Network. My line is a whopping 68. I think that's the biggest line I've ever projected in any sport. And Kentucky's giving only 39.5, so I'm laying the points. Defiance Wright State, I'm skipping. Wichita State, Richmond. My line is 15 for Richmond, and Richmond is giving 4.5. I'm laying the points. Hartford, BU. My line's BU by 16, and it's 14.5. Total's 139.5. I'll take the under, but I don't feel good about it. Marshall and Miami of Ohio. My line is Marshall by 3.5. And Marshall's giving 5.5. Give me Miami of Ohio getting the points. Washington College, Maryland, and Loyola, Maryland, we can skip. Bryant and FAU, my line's FAU by 11. And FAU in this game is giving 7.5. I'm going to lead the points. Towson, UNC Greensboro. My line is Towson by 8.5. And Towson is a 1.5 point underdog. But they're favored on the money line, though. Minus 114. Just give me Towson on the money line at minus 114. Towson's probably going to flip to a favorite because their plus 1.5 is minus 124. North Dakota State and Indiana State. My line's Indiana State by 12.5. And the line is 10.5. I'm going to lay the points. Stony Brook and Brown. My line is Stony Brook by 5. And it's Brown by 7.5. The wrong team's favor. Give me Stony Brook plus 7.5 and plus 275 to win the game outright. Austin P and South Florida. My line is South Florida by 3. And it's 7.5. Give me Austin P getting the points. Albany and St. Joe's. My line is St. Joe's by 16.5. And St. Joe's is only giving 7.5. I'm going to lay the points. Boise, Charlotte from Myrtle Beach. My line is Boise by 10.5, and this game is 7 o'clock ESPN News. And Boise's giving 4.5. I'm going to lay the points with Boise. Davidson, Charleston from Charleston. Is this a home game technically for Charleston? If so, I have to make an adjustment. If Charleston. Yes, this is a home game for Charleston. I have to make an adjustment here. My line is now 11.5 for Davidson. And Charleston's a 2.5 point favorite. Give me Davidson plus a 2.5 and plus 126 outright, even though it's a home game for them. Pitt VCU from Barclays. My line is VCU by 16.5. And this game is on ESPN2. And it's 3.5. I'm going to lay the 3.5 at VCU. They're better than Pitt. Little Rock, East Tennessee State. My line is 19 for East Tennessee State. And it's 11.5. I'm going to lay the points. Norfolk State Monmouth. My line is Norfolk by 6.5. And 7.5. I have to look for the total in this game. Which is 140.5. I'll take the over. Yo Monroe at number 15 TCU at 8 o'clock. My line is TCU by whopping 45.5. And it's 16.5. I'll lay the points. Samford and Alabama A&M. My line is Samford by 36.5, and they're only favored by 2.5. I'm going to lay the points. Louisiana Tech, Louisiana. My line is 9 for Louisiana, and it's 4.5. I'll lay the points. Tennessee State and Southern Illinois. My line is Southern by 6, and it's 14.5. Give me Tennessee State getting the points. That's a lot. Northwestern State and Illinois State. My line is Illinois State by 5.5, and it's 6.5. Total is 132.5. I'll begrudgingly take the over. North Dakota, Elan. My line is Elan by 9.5. And Elon is favored by 6.5. I'll lay the points. Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and A&M Corpus Christi. My line is Corpus Christi by 14.5, and Corpus Christi is giving 12.5. I'm going to lay the points. Texas State and UTSA. My line is Texas State by 2, and it's 5.5. Give me UTSA getting the points at home. New Orleans, LSU. My line's LSU by 35, and it is 25.5. I'll lay the points. Northern Illinois and Georgia Tech. My line is Georgia Tech by 26.5, and it's 13.5. I'll lay the points. 8:30 Fox Sports 1, UC Riverside at number 10 Creighton. My line's Creighton by 42, and it's 18.5. I'll lay the points. Coppin State and Tennessee Tech. My line is Tech by 6.5, and Coppin State's 4.5 point favorite. Wrong team's favorite. Give me Tennessee Tech plus 4.5 and plus 168 outright. LIU Marquette on Fox Sports 2. My line's Marquette by 42, and it's 27.5. I'll lay the points. 9 o'clock, Utah Tech at number 14, Arizona. My line is Zona by a whopping 55.5, and it's 27.5. I'm laying the points. Portland Air Force. My line's Portland by 18, and it's 4.5. I'll lay the points. Sam Houston, Utah. My line is Utah by 31. And Utah is giving 10.5. I'll lay the points. Central Michigan and Minnesota on the Big Ten Network. My line's Minnesota by 25, and it's 11.5. I'll lay the points. South Dakota and Mississippi State on the SEC Network. My line is Mississippi State by 30.5. My line's 14.5. I'll lay the points. St. Thomas and Montana, 9:30. My line is Montana by 21.5, and it's 4.5. I'll lay the points. Loyola Chicago and Tulsa. My line's Loyola by 15, and it's 7.5. I'll lay the points. From the Barclays Center, on ESPN2, number 20 Michigan and Arizona State. My line is Michigan 5.5 and 7.5. Give me Zona State getting the points. Hopes for State, San Jose State at 10 o'clock. These two teams are both undefeated, by the way. My line's Hofstra by 12, and it is Hofstra by 3.5. I'll lay the points. Utah State and San Diego. My line's San Diego by 12. These two teams are also undefeated. And it's Utah State by 7.5. Give me San Diego plus 7.5 and plus 250 outright. That's ridiculous. And last but not least, at 11 o'clock, Pac-12 Network, Cal Baptist in Washington. My line's Washington 30.5, and it's 8.5. I'll lay those points. All right, NBA, we'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games, which there's only 3 games tonight in this association. Pacers over the Hornets, 125-113. Timberwolves over the Magic, 126-108. Thunder over the Wizards, 121-120. Celtics over the Hawks, 126-101. Raptors over the Heat, 112-104. Bucks over the Cavs, 113-98. Pelicans over the Bulls, 124-110. So best bet was a winner. Rockets over the Rams, 101-92. Knicks over the Nuggets, 106-103. And the Suns over the Warriors, 130-119. All right, 3 games tonight, all late-night games. 10 o'clock, you have the Nets and the Trailblazers. My projections, Blazers by 7, total 220. And it is Portland by 2.5, total 220.5. I'm laying the points with the Blazers. Spurs, Kings. My line is Kings by 10.25, total 234, and it's 6.5 and 237.5. I'm going to lay to 6.5. And last but not least, the Pistons and the Clippers at 10:30 from Staples. Or Crypto.com, I should just say. Clippers by 16 is the number projected, and it's 9.5. I'm going to lay the 9.5 with the Clips. So many injuries for both teams. NHL will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to a busy slate for tonight. Sens over the Sabres 4-1. Blues over the Blackhawks 5-2, and the Kings over the Oilers 3-1. All right. Big window tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Flyers and the Bruins from TD Garden. The Bruins are minus 360. The Flyers are plus 275. Over under 6. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Flyers plus 1.5 is plus 104. Bruins minus 1.5 is minus 128. I'm going to take the Flyers puck line plus 1.5 and plus 104. That's just crazy. Avs, Canes. Canes minus 128. Avs plus 106. Over under 6. Overs minus 112, unders minus 110. Avs plus 1.5 is minus 50. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 98. You don't see the defending champs as a dog very often. I'm taking them here plus 106. Habs, Jackets. Habs minus 118. Jackets minus 102. Over under 6.5 minus 10 each way. Habs minus 1.5 is plus 10. Jackets plus 1.5 is minus 265. Tough one, but I'm going to take the under. Stars, Panthers. Panthers minus 172, Stars plus 142, over under 6.5, overs minus 108, unders minus 114, Stars plus 1.5 is minus 170, Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 138. Tough one. Oh, God, I'm going to take the under. I don't feel good about it. Flames, Lightning. Lightning minus 122. Flames plus 102. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 124. Flames plus 1.5 is minus 250. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 198. Tough one. Let's go with the Bolton regulation at plus 128. Devils, Maple Leafs. Ooh. Leafs minus 144. Devils plus 120. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 140. Unders plus 114. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 196. Leafs minus 1.5 is plus 158. So a team that's won 10 straight is a plus 120 underdog. And probably the right call, but I'm taking them anyway. I'm taking New Jersey plus 120 to win their 11th in a row. 8 o'clock, the Penguins in the Wild from Mini. Pens minus 114. Wild minus 105. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 120. Pens plus 1.5 is minus 265. Wild minus 1.5 is plus 210. Going with Minnesota at home. Minus 105. Fleury revenge game against his old team. Isles, Preds. Preds minus 122. Isles plus 102 over under 6. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 260. Preds minus 1.5 is plus 205. I'm going to go with the Islanders as a road dog at plus 102. Capitals, Blues. Blues minus 113. Caps minus 106. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Caps plus 1.5 is minus 265. Blues minus 1.5 is plus 210. I'm going to go with the Blues as a slight home favorite at minus 113. Ducks, Jets. Jets minus 220. Ducks plus 180. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 124. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 134. Jets minus 1.5 is plus 110. I'm taking over 6.5 at plus 102. 10 o'clock, Rangers, Kraken. Rangers minus 137. Kraken plus 114. Over under 6. Over is even money. Unders minus 122. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 180. Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 225. I'm going to go with the Kraken as a home dog at plus 114. They're playing better than the Rangers are right now. Coyotes, Golden Knights. Golden Knights minus 410. Coyotes plus 315. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Coyotes plus 1.5 is plus 124. Vegas minus 1.5 is minus 152. I'm going to go Coyotes plus 1.5 at plus 124. And last but not least, 10:30, the Red Wings at the Sharks. Sharks minus 125. Red Wings plus 104. Over under 6. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Detroit plus 1.5 is minus 250. Sharks minus 1.5 is plus 198. I'm going to go with the Red Wings as a road dog, plus 104. All right, college football. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to the lone game tonight in the American. So Maction is done, at least for the week. Eastern Michigan over Kent State, 31-24. Miami of Ohio over Northern Illinois, 29-23. And Western Michigan upset Central Michigan, 12-10. All right, one game tonight, 7:30 on ESPN, SMU at number 21, Tulane. Should be an interesting game for sure. Tulane is favored by 3.5. Total is 65.5. And my projected line is 8 and 62 and 3/10. I'm going to lay it with Tulane. It's a bounce back spot. I think SMU's overrated. And I've been betting against SMU all year. So give me Tulane minus 3.5 at home in a bounce back spot against SMU. All right, Thursday night football. We have all of a sudden intriguing game with that upset win last week by the Packers over the Cowboys as they host the Titans. I'm going to check for some injuries really quick before I get into projections here. So Rasul Douglas probable, Lazard probable, Jones probable, Rodgers is going to play. Devontae Wyatt probable, Christian Watson probable. Randall Cobb goes to questionable after it was supposed to be out. So it looks like he is going to play. Eldon Jenkins, questionable. David Bakhtiari, questionable. Eric Stokes, the corner, out indefinitely. Daubs, the wide receiver, out for Green Bay. Tennessee, meanwhile, there's some on the defensive side of the ball that we must know about. Bud Dupree out. Amani Hooker out. I need to see the status of the kicker. Ben Jones out with the concussion, the center. That's not great. Bullock out. So, Ben Jones out and Bullock out for Tennessee too. So, those are a couple big injuries there. Fulton is probable. The quarterback, Tannehill, probable. Jeffrey Simmons still in play. Zach Cunningham out indefinitely, as we know, due to an elbow injury. So, a lot of injuries for Tennessee, and obviously the tackle, Lewan, has been out for a while. My line projected is Titans by a half, total 38 3/5. And Green Bay is favored in this game by 3, and the total is 41. This is a tough one, but I have to take Tennessee getting the 3. They are plus 148 to win outright, but I don't know if I have the balls to pick them to win outright. I think this could be a 3-point game. If this is probably going to be up to 3.5 by game time, so I'm going to take the Titans plus the 3. But I'm hesitant to call the outright win. I can see Green Bay winning by 1. Either Tennessee wins or comes damn close is the call. But Tennessee plus 3 is the pick I'm going to give out. All right, now we'll move on to golf and look over the leaderboard right now. Although very early leaderboard for the RSM Classic. In first right now with 3 under is Sean O'Hare. Tied for second with 2 under is Dylan McCarthy and Bayo Hostler. Tied for fourth with 1 under. Sam Ryder, Sam Piercy, Taylor Pendrith, Stuart St. Carrie English, Zach Johnson. Tied for 10th at even, Max McGreevy, Callum Tarrant, Brandon Wu, Kevin Tway, Stefan Yeager, Matt Wallace, Matthew Neesmith, Kelly Craft, Bryce Garnett, James John Huss, Zach Blair, JT Potson, Ryan Brem, Camp Champ, Brian Harmon, Luke Liss, Kevin Kisner, Scott Brown, Webb Simpson, Ryan Remore, Francesco Molinari, Joaquim Herman, Brendan Todd, Dylan Lingmerth, Austin Smotherman, Justin Lauer, Patrick Rogers, Sang-Hoon Kim, Charlie Hoffman, Nate Watney, Ben Martin, Eric Barnes, and Peter Malnati. Now notables tied for 44th with 1 over Kevin Tway, Nate Lashley, Alex Badley, Camilo Vegas, Tyler Duncan, Seb Straka, Trey Molinax, Michael Thompson, Justin Rose, Rory Sabatini, Danny Willett. And tied for 62nd with 2 over Austin Cook, Vincent Taylor, and Richie Rowensky. All right, now move on to my MLB awards. NFL Power Rankings is after that. All right, so the Cy Young Awards came out. So the vote totals, we'll start in the National League. The unanimous winner in the National League, no doubt about it, Sandy Alcantara, 210 points, 31st place votes. Coming in second was Max Fried with 72 points, 10 second, 7 third, 5 fourth, and 1 fifth. Third was Julio Urias with 66 points, 7 seconds, 9 thirds, 5 fourths, and 1 fifth. Fourth place, Aaron Nola at 48 points, 5 seconds, 6 thirds, 4 fourths, and 2 fifths. Fifth place with 45 points, Zach Gallen of the Arizona Diamondbacks, 3 seconds, 5 thirds, 6 fourths, and 6 fifths. And then Carlos Rodon with 30 points, 3 seconds, 1 third, 4 fourths, and 7 fifths. Then with 20 points, Corbin Burns, 1 second, 2 thirds, 1 fourth, and 8 fifths. Then with 7 points, Yu Darvish, 3 fourths and a fifth. Edwin Diaz with 6 points, 1 second and 2 fifths. Then with 3 points, Kyle Wright got a fourth and a fifth. With 2 points, Logan Webb with the fourth place vote. And a fifth place vote with 1 point, Ryan Helsley of the Cardinals. And the American League results. Unanimous winner was Justin Verlander of the Astros with 30 points, 210 points, or 30 votes. Coming in second was Dylan Cease of the White Sox, 14 seconds, 10 thirds, 5 fourths, and a fifth with 97 points. Coming in third was Alek Manoah of the Blue Jays with 87 points, 7 seconds, 13 thirds, and 10 fourths. Coming in fourth was Shohei Ohtani with 82 points, 9 seconds, 7 thirds, 12 fourths, and 1 fifth. And then in fifth, Framber Valdez of the Astros, 14 points, 1 fourth, and 12 fifths. And then Shane McClanahan of the the Rays. Next pitchers from the Guardians. McClanahan, 10 points, 1 fourth, and 8 fifths. With 5 points, Shane Bieber, 1 fourth, and 3 fifths. And then Nestor Cortez of the Yankees with 3 points with 3 fifth place votes. And Garrett Cole of the Yankees, 1 point, 1 fifth place vote. And then Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays, 1 point, 1 fifth place vote. And now the MVPs will be announced tonight. In the American League, it's Aaron Judge, it's Shohei Ohtani, and it is Yordan Alvarez. I think that Aaron Judge will win. I think I stated on the podcast in the past that I felt that it was going to be unanimous. I don't think it's going to be unanimous because there are some haters out there who probably voted for Shohei Ohtani for MVP, although was the best player on a losing team, and let alone a lousy team. But I think that the first place votes, I think Judge will have a majority of them. But there will be some that will vote Ohtani because Ohtani's probably a better all-around player than Judge because he can pitch. So I'm going to say Judge first, Ohtani second, Yordan Alvarez third. And in the National League, it's the two Cardinal guys, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and it's Manny Machado. This is a tough one. Paul Goldschmidt had a rocky September. And Nolan Arenado got red hot. And usually two guys on the same team, they split the votes. So I'm going to be different and say that Manny Machado wins. And I think that's probably who should win because he helped carry the Padres to the postseason without Tatis. So that has that narrative going for him. So I'm going to say Manny Machado wins, Paul Goldschmidt second, and Nolan Arenado will come in third. All right, now we'll do the NFL Power Rankings. I'm going to try to be quick here. The theme of the week is how I've done with the teams in Fab 5 on the season. Not just best bet. It's only Fab 5. So 32, the Houston Texans. I'm betting on them overall, are touching their games in the Fab 5 1-1. On them 0-1. I lost with them against the Raiders a few weeks back, and then I'm 1-0 against them, which was last week against the Giants. 32, I have the Raiders. I went against them twice in Fab 5, 1-1 doing so. The loss was against the Texans, ironically enough, and then the win against them was in Week 1 against the Chargers. Number 30 is Jacksonville Jaguars. I only went against them in Fab 5 once, and it was successful. And it was against the Eagles in Week 4. Number 29 is New Orleans Saints. I went against them in Fab 5, or I bet on them in Fab 5 once, and it was not successful. I bet them against the Bucs in Week 2. I don't think I went against them. I wrote the A for against, but I really bet on them. So that was a mistake on my part. 28 is the Detroit Lions. I went against them in Fab 5 once, and it was not successful. It was against Minnesota in Week 3. 27, the Atlanta Falcons. So overall, when touching their games in the Fab 5, 0-2-1. On them 0-1-1. The loss was against the Panthers in the game DJ Moore threw the helmet off, and the push was against the Chargers 2 weeks ago. And I went against them once, and it was not successful. It was against the Rams in Week 2. 26 is the Carolina Panthers. Overall, touching their games 2-2. I bet on them in week 1. It was not successful against the Browns, and then I've went against them 3 times, 2-1. In doing so, the 2 times that were successful, I bet against them against the Bengals, it was successful, and I bet against them against the Rams, successful. And the one time it was not successful going against them was the DJ Moore helmet game against Atlanta that I just alluded to. 25, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 2-1 in touching their games in the Fab Five. Betting on them 1-1. The win coming against they covered against the Dolphins, and then the loss. I took them in week 2 against the Pats, didn't work out, and then against them 1-0, as I bet against them a few weeks ago in Philly. 24, the Los Angeles Rams. I've took them in the Fab Five 4 times. Only 1 time it was successful, and it was against the Panthers when they were laying the double digits. And the 3 losses. Week 1 against the Bills, week 2 against the Falcons. They just didn't cover that game. And then I took them on the Monday night against the Niners. Didn't work out. Number 23 is the Denver Broncos. I went against them 1 time this year in the Fab Five, which was last week against Tennessee. It worked out. Number 22, my power rankings, the Chicago Bears. I have not touched them against the spread in Fab Five all season. I don't know if I even took a total that they've been involved in all season either. 21, the Indianapolis Colts. I only touched 1 game of theirs this year, and I bet on them against the Titans, and I believe it was week 4, and I lost. Number 20, my power rankings is the Arizona Cardinals. I only touched 1 game that they're involved in this year in Fab 5 from a spread standpoint, and it was successful. I went against them against the Vikings a few weeks ago. Number 19, I have the Cleveland Browns. I went against them 3 times in Fab 5s, and only 1 time it worked out, and that was... I need to think about that. I know the 2 times when I went against them and I lost, didn't work out. It was they covered 2.5 against the Chargers, and then I went against them another time. Oh, it was week 1 against the Panthers. It beat me. And then when was it successful when I bet against the Browns and I won? Oh, it was this past week against the Dolphins. Green Bay Packers are 18. Touching their games overall 1-2. On them 0-1. I bet on them against the Patriots in week 4. Did not work out. They did not cover. And then against them I'm 1-1. The 1 loss was against Tampa. I went against them. I bet on Tampa laying points, but Green Bay won that game outright as a dog. And then betting against them worked out in week 1 against the Vikings. Number 17, the Washington Commanders. I went against them once, and it was a push against the Vikings. 16 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Overall, touching them in the Fab 5, 0-3. On them, 0-1. I bet on them against the Packers, did not work out. And then the times I went against them, this past week against Seattle, did not work out. And then I took the Saints against them and did not work out. The Patriots are 15 on my list. Also 0-2. I went against them twice. I went against them in Moneyline a couple times too. And I bet on them in Moneyline. Didn't work out either. But 0-2 from a spread standpoint against them. I took the Steelers against them in week 2. Didn't work out. And then the other time it didn't work out was the Packer game. I laid the big number. Green Bay didn't work out, as the Pats covered that spread. 14 is the Los Angeles Chargers. Overall, 1-1-1. On them, 1-1. Against them, 0-1. And obviously, I took Atlanta against them, and that was the push. And then on them, 1-1. The loss was the Browns. They didn't cover 2.5. And then week 1, they covered and won against the Las Vegas Raiders. 13, the San Francisco 49ers. I went against them in Fab 5 once. It did not work out. It was the Monday night game against the Rams. 12, the Cincinnati Bengals. I've bet on them twice in Fab 5, and it worked out both times. They were a 3.5-point dog in Baltimore. They covered, although it did not win, but the covers matter when it comes to the theme of this power rankings. And then recently, I laid the points with them against the Panthers, and it worked out. Number 11, the Seattle Seahawks. I only bet them in Fab 5 once this year, and it did not work out. It was last week in Germany against the Bucs. Number 10, the Tennessee Titans. Overall, touching their games 1-1. I bet on them once, and it worked out. It was last week against the Broncos, and I bet against them against the Colts. It did not work out in week 4. Number 9, the Baltimore Ravens. Overall, 2-0-1. I bet on them once, but it was a push at home against the Bills. And then against them, I'm 2-0. I went against them. I took Cincinnati. Cincinnati covered. And then I went against them. I took the Giants. And the Giants won that game outright as a 5.5-point dog. Number 8 in the power rankings is the Dallas Cowboys. I have not touched a spread that they've been involved in all season. But I think I did take a total involving them, and I don't remember. So the only 2 teams that have not been featured in Fab 5 for good or for bad this year, the Bears and the Cowboys. Number 7, the New York Football Giants. I've took them twice in the Fab 5 and 2-0 in doing so. Took them against the Ravens as a 5.5-point dog a few weeks ago. They won outright. And then last week I laid 5.5 with them against the Texans. Worked out. Number 6 is the Jets. Took them in Fab 5 once. It worked out. They won outright as a big dog against the Bills. Number 6 is the Buffalo Bills. They've been a team the team I've bet against the most 5 times. Worked out twice, didn't work out 3 times. But one of the 3 times did not work out. It was a push. It was against the Ravens. The 2 losses, obviously, week 1 against the Rams. That was the only time I took the Thursday night game in the Fab 5 all year. And then, obviously, against the Chiefs. And then the 2 times it worked out, I went against them was against the Jets and against the Vikings last week. Number 4 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I only took them once all year in the Fab 5. It did not work out. It was against the Bills. We just talked about that. Number 3 in the power rankings is the Miami Dolphins. I've touched their games twice, 2-0 in doing so. On them, I bet on them last week against the Browns, and then I went against them against the Steelers, and they did not cover that spread. Number 2 is the Philadelphia Eagles. I took them in the Fab 5 twice, and it worked out. Week 4 against Jacksonville, and then a few weeks ago against the Steelers. And then number 1 in the power rankings, and deservingly so, the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I know the Eagles beat them head-to-head, but Minnesota has a better win on paper than the Eagles do right now. And they have the better loss, which was against the Eagles, and then the Eagles' own loss came against the Commanders, who we talked about, and who are in the bottom half of my power rankings. So I've touched Minnesota 5 times, so they're the team I've touched the most in the Fab 5. 3 for 5, and there was a push in there too. The push was against the Commanders, obviously. The loss was they didn't cover against the Lions. They won that game but did not cover. And then the 3 times it worked out, week 1 against Green Bay, week 9 against Arizona, and then week 8 against Arizona, and then obviously last week against the Bills. Alrighty, now I'm going to do my news and notes for today. That was actually really fun doing power rankings that way. So the big story coming out right now in football is that the NFL is monitoring the snowstorm that could bring 3 to 6 feet of snow to Buffalo. It's what they're calling thunder snow by Sunday. So there's a possibility that game gets moved to Detroit or something. So Vikings play-by-play guy Paul Allen really had great moments on Sunday on his call against the Bills. I suggest you guys check it out. Kyler Murray day-to-day, as Cliff Kingsbury will decide later in the week who starts Monday Night Football. Hollywood Brown back at practice. That is great news for the Cards. Dallas Goedert will miss the next 4 weeks due to a shoulder injury. That's brutal for the Eagles. Saquon Barkley has a new nickname for Daniel Jones. Vanilla Vic. That's actually kind of funny because Daniel Jones obviously is a running quarterback and does it successfully, and Vic was a good runner. So I actually think That's kind of a funny nickname, although some people may not like that. Former Giants defensive tackle Linval Joseph will be signing with the Eagles, so the Eagles shoring up their pass rush by bringing in an ex-Giant. Baseball. There was a trade yesterday morning after I stopped recording. The Mariners acquired Teoscar Hernandez from the Toronto Blue Jays, and going back to Toronto, reliever Eric Swanson and lefty prospect Adam Macko. This is a surprising trade. I like it for Seattle. It's an upgrade in their outfield. I don't know what Toronto is doing there. Eric Swanson could help their bullpen. Probably should help their bullpen, but now Toronto has a hole in their outfield. Teoscar's an all-star player. I don't think that was a great trade for Toronto. I like it better for Seattle than I do for Toronto. Bryce Harper's having UCL surgery, and his return timetable for 2023 is unknown. That's not great for the Phillies. We talked about Verlander and Sandy Alcantara winning their Cy Young Awards, and they were obviously very happy about it. Aaron Judge, there's some investigation going on for the league as they're looking to whether the two New York teams communicated improperly about Aaron Judge. That's weird. How is Hal Steinbrenner telling all the owners I'm doing everything in my power to re-sign this guy? Improper communication. So, since when was there tampering in baseball? Ridiculous. And plus, that's the Yankees' old player. Let the Mets get punished for it, but Hal Steinbrenner should not be punished for saying that. Anthony Rizzo says he loves being a Yankee, and sounds like it was a no-brainer. He wanted to come back. MLS expansion club St. Louis dropped its first kit as they released their uniforms for everyone who's moving to, they say, for everyone who's moving our city forward. So that's cool that St. Louis has an expansion team. So some basketball. Ben Simmons, after it was reported that the Nets were frustrated, he says his injury is not made up as he slams pushback about swollen knee he's been dealing with all season. Kyrie Irving is nearing completion of his suspension and can rejoin the team on Sunday against the Grizzlies. So we'll see how that goes. College basketball, USC lands Isaiah Collier as he is the number 4 player in all 2023, 5-star guard, Trojans' highest recruit ever. So that is wonderful news for the Trojans as Collier dedicates his USC commitment video to his cousin, Collier Hardison, who died in August. So that's probably an emotional video for him. And Penny Hardaway's son obviously commits to Memphis. Gonzaga can join the Big 12 as the Big 12 commissioner and Gonzaga AD have growing mutual interest. Keep an eye on that. Candace Parker plans on returning next season. That'd be wonderful for the WNBA. And the Sharks may move Eric Carlson as the San Jose Sharks GM. Mike Greer says the team will listen to offers for the 2-time Norris-winning defenseman. So that is someone who I predicted before the season that was going to be traded. It looks like I am going to be correct with that prediction. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a lot of directions where I can go. There was a line in college basketball that jumped out to me. And I'm going to lay points. Or I'm sorry, not going to lay points. I'm going to get points. San Diego goes home for Utah State. I'm going to lay a half unit on San Diego getting the 7.5 at home against Utah State. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything going on and then looking ahead to a monster weekend ahead. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.